Hi guys, welcome back to the Money Talk series. And on today's episode, we're going to be looking at a topic that is very, very important to the society, which is the new Lagos State policy on rent. Here with me, I have Kumi and Somtochukwu. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. So today, we're going to be looking at the new Lagos State policy on rent because we got to know that now the Lagos State government is passing a new law where tenants are to pay their rent on a monthly basis compared to the one that we're very, very more conversant with, which is the yearly one. So, what do you think about that? Something to
Monthly basis rent, it brings a whole lot of new scope to what relationship means with your landlord. Most times, some people don't even really see their landlord once in a year. Say, and if you say monthly, it means that every month I have to be like,
Yeah.
alpha, more landlord will they call you every time. But look at the 1 year. Some people say their landlords is not even in Nigeria. So
Yeah.
just that time of the year, you just transfer the money, and a lot of times it used to bring a whole lot of flexibility. Like it's not something you have to be worrying about till that exact month. You just go and find, you understand. But this monthly one is just like I don't even really know how to feel about it.
How about you, Kobe?
Personally, I love the idea.
Okay.
I love the idea so much because considering the economic situation of the country, monthly rental payments is actually a very nice scheme,
Yeah.
and I really love the Lagos State government on this. And talking about payments, I think paying with this is 21st century. To pay monthly shouldn't be an issue. That is the method of payments. You don't make use of bank transfer, and even though if the landlord is not in Nigeria, you can make use of Riverlight to make transfers, and that's one of the things we offer here at Regular.
Okay. Thank you very much about that. And we coupled up with the new policy also, you've got to know that we're also being told now that you are to pay rent based on your income, based on what you earn. What do you feel about that? That now initially now there are so many let's say workers in Lagos now that they don't even earn enough. They have to like work like 3 or 4 jobs before they can be able to pay their yearly rent. Now that you're now enforced now to pay rent on monthly basis. Looking at it now that you can go like 2 months without even having inside, you're not focused on your own salary. Now. So how do you cope with that?
Ah, looking at paying rent according to your income, it's one thing. If you can classify it towards the end of the year, paying once
Yeah.
and calculate your income and say, okay, you just have to pay 20% of your income for the year is your rent. I would have easily liked it, but if you look at it on a monthly basis now, let's say somebody's earning 500K and monthly the person's yearly rent is like 3 million
Yeah.
or 2 million. That means 500K on 2 million. That means you have to save like 4 months rent to actually cover up your 1 year rent payments. You look at it now, paying it monthly every month. Now, okay, you have to cough up. I think up to 20% of your salary. I think yeah, to just make up for the rent. It's something that is continuous. It helps you do. I mean, money going out every time. It helps you see your budget, but that is not really some. That's somebody that has family also. They already have so many things that as money is entering for the month, that they already have places that money is going. Adding rent to it alone, again, I feel like it's just so much. I feel like it's just so much. Thinking about rent monthly is just
Another thing,
so
right?
much. Yeah.
So Kumi, I'm gonna ask you, what do you think is the impact on tenants now? And they're saying now that maybe there's going to be an increase now in the monthly payments of rent. Like, because there's no way landlords are going to like just agree to that without maybe having some increase in their rent. So what do you think tenants are going to go?
With the look of things, I'm not sure they will increase. Instead,
Okay.
I think they will even decrease
Really?
because according to what I read,
Yeah.
they were like it will be based on income. And if it's based on income, definitely if you know you're in an apartment in which your income is not up to that, then definitely
Have
you
to
might have to leave
reduce.
that
Okay, leave the
leave that
apartment. Okay.
apartment probably because I'm not sure the landlord
We
will
have
want
to
to
agree to
reduce.
increase the rent.
Either
Yes.
you have to leave, and I think this Lagos State housing policy scheme now, they are rolling out in apartments, and I think people will have the opportunity to rent those apartments,
Yeah.
and it will be based on income, based on their income. And according to what they said in the article that I read, they said they will be trying this from the public sector, that is those that work with the public sector, that's those that work with government. They'll be testing that with them because they can easily determine their income. Now, okay, this is a level 12 officer, this is a level 14 officer. They can easily determine their income and then determine the kind of rent, the payment plan that
Yes.
fits their income. So I think it's a very nice idea, and I commend Lagos State government for that.
That's good. Yeah. Back to you something. What do you think the impact will be on landlords now in the case of like maybe defaulters, those that can't meet up to the rent? Because looking at Lagos now, almost everybody wants to live the lifestyle. Everybody wants to like live in a very, very comfortable apartment. So how do you think it's going to affect the landlords?
That's the thing. The landlords, in the case of the landlords,
Yeah.
it's just something that's now the crazy scenario whereby every month they have to start dragging the tenants one by one every month. Some tenants, some people say do we hear stories that people go like 2 years, 3 years without paying rent. And landlord are still chasing them, lawyers are still looking for them. Some of them just lock up the properties and travel and landlord just gets fed up. Now look at monthly. I mean, some landlords like this in this kind of situation, it takes them a very, very long time to even chase you. Like when your yearly rent is due. Now consider chasing you every month, 12 months in a year to come and pay your rent. Some people can actually go 6 months without even
Without
paying.
paying.
And look at it now. With this policy saying that it must be based on
What
how
you earn.
much you earn, it means that I mean no landlord is going to if you look at it from the lateral view, that means every landlord is going to so much reduce how much people are paying them as rent. Because I mean, we believe everybody believe that the landlords in Lagos are charging way much high. And when we relate it to how much people are earning, you see that people are not even really earning that much in Lagos. And it's as if most of them are just working for the landlord. So if you, I think up to like 40% is going to mostly go when this policy is enacted, and it's going to affect the landlords so much. That's what I know.
That's very nice. Yeah. So back to you, Kumi. What advice can you give to tenants on financial planning in respect to this?
I think it's just about intentionality. They should be intentional about their their payments, and I think this monthly payment will even make some people. It will make some tenants more serious because it's yearly. Some people tend to even forget at the end of the
Until they
day
have
that
to
they are
pay
living in
rent.
the house.
Yeah.
But if it's monthly, you see people in the advanced world. In fact, some of them know that they have to work because they have to pay their rent.
It's in a year, I think it's
Yes,
monthly. Yeah.
they have to because they know that this house I have to pay my rent. They have to work. So it brings this sense of responsibility. So my own advice is just that for tenants, first of all, you should consider the kind of house you want to rent first.
Yeah.
Consider the payment, the annual payment overall from your own annual income. So the ratio should be right. The ratio should be right. You shouldn't rent a particular house that is far more than your income. So the ratio should be normal, and then you should be able to understand that okay, monthly this is certain percentage I will take out of this income. At least it will be better that way than you just thinking that I have it all for 1 year, and then when it comes to when the rent gets to like 2 months to expire, or probably 4 weeks to expire, you start running up and down that how do I do this? How do I do that? But if it's monthly, there's this sense of responsibility that oh, I have monthly rent, and if it's just probably 10% of your income, then we pay it. It's very easy.
That's very, very excellent. Thank you very much for that. So yeah, that brings me so to Chico also. What do you
Yeah.
think about for the landlord, financial plan for the landlord, in respect to like cash flow, managing cash flow and so on, and even dealing with defaulters also. How
Yeah.
do you think about that?
I mean, coming from the aspect of the landlord, there's
Yeah.
something said in the aspect of the tenants
Mm.
that we did not even look at well. I
Yeah.
mean, look at developed countries like America and England.
Mhm.
Look at rent. Rent is paid monthly.
Yeah.
And why it's paid monthly is because of mostly the stress, the terms, the kind of lease it is, legal, the other legal things involved. And if you bring that to Nigeria, and when somebody is earning, let's say somebody's earning, let's even place it, somebody's earning 500K. Basically, 500K, if you say, okay, let me pay a rent of, inside 500K, let me pay 100K. 100K has gone out of all the budget that you have for that month. I know almost here in Nigeria, everything that we are doing for everything that is called bill in Nigeria is something that's been done monthly.
Yeah.
And we've already so much budgeted. From the first of the month, we have even really thought about all the bills that I have to settle at the end of the month. I've thought about water bill, electricity, everything, and immediately all of a sudden, house rent is just added on top of that list. You just look at it, house rent just dropped on top of that list. Let's say you are spending like 30% of the whole salary on bills, on normal bills. Then house rent, like let's say house rent is now like 20% for the month. That's 50% has even really gone. And the remaining 50%, you now consider whether you have other things to even think about savings and other stuff. Then for the landlords also, that's the thing, financial planning. Let's say a landlord that is very, very advanced needs to be hiring an auditor or a lawyer to be doing the whole rent collection and everything towards the end of the year. You look at now, he's doing it monthly. Like he needs to be getting people to do that monthly. If a lawyer is collecting percentage on collection of salary and everything, now it's as a result that it has to be done monthly. And see the whole stress. Even now that our economy safe, we have the economy is even really going down. The worth of our currency is really the worth of our currency is really depreciating. And landlord collecting this rent monthly with the fluctuating values of naira towards the end of the year. If you calculate how much you've collected, maybe what you collected in January, February, March, like what you collected in December is even bigger than all of them. You understand? That's the state of the economy because
Okay.
of the imbalance. So collecting that rent monthly, it's for landlords, it's not feasible. Let's say landlord is even thinking of doing something with the money. Look at cement sef is even going up. You collected, let's say you collected 50K from your tenant last month to fix something. And say, okay, you budgeted it, I'll collect next month another 50K. That next month rent just buys only 3 bags of cement. You see the
So it
difference,
affects
it
Okay,
affects them.
I love your point, but I'll be coming from two angles now.
Yeah,
Okay, so the first angle is I like practical scenarios. I like so let's assume Mr. Hay earns 600K monthly. Okay, and let's the house rent for Mr. Hay is 600K annually. And then that means that 600 divided by 12, it means we have to spread it 50K monthly
50K.
for the whole house. Now 50K, it means that for Mr. Hay, that's why I was saying something about intentionality and budgeting. Now for Mr. Hay, for me to pay a house rent of 50K monthly, it means I should be earning probably like 300K or more. Now let's assume Mr. A now earns 300K or 350K per month. So removing 50K for Mr. A, if he's actually responsible and he has a proper budget, removing 50K shouldn't be a problem, because house rent, when it comes to human life, shelter, clothing and food, they are very important. So 50K, which is a little fraction of the amount you are earning as at that time, shouldn't be a problem. Now that's the first part. Now for the second part, I feel even for landlords, we should look at most of these Lagos landlords. Most of them, they actually they worked during their young age, and then they feel like they see house as their retirement plan in quotes. So having a retirement plan that you have tenants paying you monthly, man, it's very nice. Instead of you waiting for a whole year, and then even after that year you start chasing the tenant. It's like a retirement plan. I think landlords in Lagos should be celebrating. Personally, yes, because it's like a retirement plan.
That's actually very
That's a very
nice.
good point.
Yours yours made me remember something because I think growing up I used to have this idea that because then everybody knew that you collect your rent here. I used to have this idea that I want to have at least minimum of 12 houses spread across each month
Each
of
month.
the year. That
Yeah.
for real, that every month I want to be receiving
This amount
rent.
of money.
But now with this new policy that the Lagos State government is bringing in place, I don't need to have 12 houses. Even if I have 12 houses, it's a blessing now.
Yeah.
So I can just have one house and I receive rent every month.
Definitely.
So that's actually very, very valid. And I really appreciate both of you for coming on the show and sharing your insights. And thank you also to our viewers at home. Also, like you to go to the comment section, give us your own suggestion and give us your own comment on what you think about this new policy. We really appreciate you for staying with us. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And see you next week. Bye.
Bye.